Hey guys, welcome to Simple Advantage. I am Tony. I hope you're having a great day. So I'm testing out some new lighting stuff. Let me know if you like it. I don't know what kind of vibe I'm going for, just techie stuff. Okay, so let's get into the video here. So I know my last video I was talking a little bit about big tech censorship, and I'm going to talk a little bit more about that in this video, but I'm also going to talk about what if there was a new internet? And what if the new internet is coming? What would that look like, and what would it consist of? And so I've got some interesting notes that I've taken on this, and kind of some different avenues that we're going to explore on this topic. So I want to start out with saying, what people are like, why would we need a new internet? This is when I'm going to talk a little bit about the censorship stuff again. So we know that there's been a lot of people, a lot of the stuff big tech has been doing lately, it's not really sitting right with them. And it's people from all walks of life. So like, I'll reiterate again, I'm a registered independent. I'm not trying to be political about this, but people across the political spectrum have disagreed with big tech for, their censorship. We're going to talk a little bit about Parler. We're going to talk, a little bit about Trump and stuff. And so, just in case anybody isn't aware of what is going on and currently happening, which I don't know how you couldn't be with the news cycle what it is, but of course we know that there's been unrest in the US lately, and of course Twitter banned Trump's Twitter account, Facebook banned Trump, a bunch of other websites and social media platforms banned Trump, and then they started censoring some content and banning other conservative accounts. And so a lot of conservatives went to Parler, and actually Parler crashed because so many people decided to make accounts on it, because it advertises itself as a free speech platform. It's not inherently in its creation conservative, but it was kind of became a safe haven for conservatives, I guess. So anyway, a lot of people migrated to Parler. Well, then Google and Apple both removed Parler from their app stores. And so you couldn't download Parler's app onto your phone anymore. If you already had it downloaded, then of course it stayed, but no new people could download the app. And then after that, Amazon decided to, take it off of their web hosting service because it was ran on Amazon servers. And so by kicking it off, it effectively shut down the website. And so, I understand when people say, Twitter and Facebook are private companies, they can do what they want. That's true. To a degree, of course, you get into, the legal specifics when a whole industry decides to censor a particular group or opinions. And so the argument was, well, if you don't like Twitter and Facebook, etc., then make your own social media platform. Well, it could be argued that people did, and that was Parler, which its whole focus was free speech. And then it got taken off the app stores, and then eventually taken down to where, nobody can get on it anymore. So I can understand why a lot of people are angry. Because it's like, okay, well, we couldn't say what we wanted to here, and then we went here, and then you guys shut it down. And Parler is suing Amazon over this, so it'll be interesting to watch where that lawsuit goes and what happens with that. But there's some interesting people that spoke out about this. The first one that really surprised me was Angela Merkel. And if you don't know who she is, that's the Prime Minister of Germany. It's kind of like their president in a way. So she's the leader of Germany. And the reason that surprised me is because Angela Merkel and Donald Trump don't particularly get along that well. They've, kind of had a bumpy past and kind of butted heads on quite a few things. And I'll pull up her statement on it. I don't want to misquote her. Okay, here it is. Okay, so here's Angela Merkel's quote on this. So she called banning of Trump's account on Twitter problematic, and the statement says, the fundamental right of free speech can be intervened in, but according to the law and within the framework defined by legislators, not according to a decision by the management of social media platforms. So she's basically saying there are restrictions to free speech, but those restrictions have to be addressed in a legislative way, where lawmakers determine what is and isn't restricted, not by CEOs of tech companies, basically, or tech companies themselves. Another surprising voice that I saw in regards to this was Glenn Greenwald, who he's a journalist. He's, from what I understand, pretty heavily Democrat, liberal, and he really attacked him and was like, so we might as well basically make a law that say that conservatives can't have an opinion on the internet now, because that's what it seems like. And then Elon Musk as well has said that he doesn't think it's going to be very popular for Silicon Valley basically to be deciding what is and isn't allowed as far as opinions go. And so there's a lot of different people from different walks of life that are speaking out against this. It's not even just the people that are being censored right now. And I agree. I don't think it is Twitter's place to do that. And I think a lot of people's opinion on this was reflected in what happened to Twitter's stock recently, because I know that Monday, I think it fell like 7% or something, which is pretty significant. Like, you will see this like straight up drop in Twitter stock, and I think Facebook fell too in light of all this, especially after Angela Merkel spoke out. And so that was kind of interesting. And full disclosure, anything in this video is not financial advice. I have to say that. So don't make any decisions on the stock market based on what I say. That has to be based on you and your own research. I'm just saying what happened. But anyway, so I think that big tech has made moves that they don't even realize how much they've hurt their future. I think there's going to be retribution for what has happened, because it puts a lot of people in a position where they don't feel at ease with the power that big tech has claimed for themselves during all of this. And there's different arguments that can be made, but that's the whole point, is like, because this precedent was set, now these arguments are going to take place. And where does this end up from a legislative point of view? Because that's it's going to come down to, is this is going to be discussed by lawmakers, and it's probably, in my opinion, probably going to end up with more restrictions being placed on tech companies, especially social media companies. And maybe some new protection laws put in place too, to cover, a wider variety of groups. So I think there's going to be a big tech shakeup coming. I think that because of what's going to happen as a result of this, we're going to see a new internet in different ways. And one of the most interesting stories on this, I don't know if you guys are familiar with this guy, but you should be, because he's, kind of to thank for a lot that we have, but Tim Berners-Lee. He is the founder of the World Wide Web. And he is basically the one who made the internet be what it is as we know it now. But he is disappointed in what it has become. He said this for years. And so the New New York Times just did an article about a project that he's working on right now. And it's like a way to fix the internet almost. It's like Internet 2.0. And so we're going to get into this real quick. And basically what his idea is to create this, I guess, kind of an architecture to protect the individual on the internet and to protect your personal data. And so it's something that's been in development. And he says that the World Wide Web has gone astray. Too much power and too much personal data, he says, reside with tech giants like Google and Facebook. Fueled by vast troves of data, he says they have become surveillance platforms and gatekeepers to innovation. And that is an argument that was made also with the Parler thing, saying that the reason big tech attacked Parler so viciously was because the amount of people that suddenly migrated to that platform, like I can't even remember how many, it was a large number, let me see. But they were saying that they shut it down to protect basically their own platforms from competition. Let's see. Number of users, 2021. So this article says Parler jumps to number 1 on App Store after Facebook and Twitter banned Trump. Parler saw approximately 210,000 installs globally on Friday, January 8th, up 281% from approximately 55,000 installs the day before. So yeah, their numbers were they were going crazy, and I think the other companies got a little bit worried and were like, "Oh, we have competition. We need to kill that, I guess." So that is an argument that's being made on that front. And so anyway, I do agree with what Tim Berners-Lee is saying here. Is, you know, there's a lot of companies out there that make their platform based on selling our data. Now, it's usually not so much like on an individual basis. It's more lumped together and sold to advertisers in different ways, in different forms, usually like analytics or, you know, stuff like that. It's usually more of a lumped thing, like, oh, you know, this many people in your area like to game or whatever. But this is going to be a deal, I think they call it pods or something, and it's like where all of your information is in a protected sphere, kind of, and you have to like explicitly give permission for companies and websites and yada yada to access that profile, your profile in a way. And so I think that we could see some interesting new websites emerging because of this, some interesting new innovation in the space. And honestly, I think as a result of everything, we're going to end up with a better internet than what we have right now. I think you're going to see a lot of new companies emerge, and I think that there's going to be some pretty big names out there that are really going to lose a lot of their power over all this stuff. And there's going to be a lot more discussion about monopolies and, you know, corporate monopolies, all that kind of thing. So that's going to be really interesting. And I think people in general are going to be the ones to really push this, because at least in the US, there's a lot of people that are pretty upset with tech right now. And I've even heard, and you know, maybe you guys are from Europe and you can tell me kind of what people are saying there, but and I'm not obviously not putting words in anybody's mouth, but I've heard that a lot of Europeans are kind of surprised by what's happening in the US and concerned about it too. And so if you're from a different country, I'd just kind of be interested in your perspective on the tech aspect of that, because that's kind of something I want for this channel as it grows, is to be a place where we can, discuss tech and discuss the future and, how it affects different people around the world. I think that's really interesting, and I like to get different perspectives on that. So definitely share your thoughts in the comments down below. So another thing that I think will kind of be interesting, and again, this isn't financial advice, but I think we're going to see some major changes in the crypto space because of all this. I know that Bitcoin here lately has been kind of booming and stuff, and I don't know that that's going to last, to be honest. I almost feel like, and I don't know for sure, but I almost feel like Bitcoin's going to end up being this big bubble, and we've already seen quite a bit of, drop in it. But with this new internet age that's going to be coming in, I think we're going to see a lot more new blockchains, a lot more utility for different types of crypto, because I don't know if you guys watch my crypto video, but crypto is kind of like buying into different software. It all has some kind of use, some kind of utility and idea behind it as to what it does, because not all coins are like Bitcoin. And honestly, I think the fact that Elon Musk just became the richest man in the world, that's pretty interesting. And he's one of the ones that has been criticizing a lot of the tech industry lately. And I don't know, Elon Musk, he's like freaking real life Iron Man, And I've read a little bit about the Starlink stuff and the different ideas he has, and I think that's somebody who's really gonna be an innovator in the space. He already is, but I think he's gonna become more influential, not just because of the money, but just the kind of ideas that he has. And some people argue that he's a little bit more ethical, and I think that might be the theme of 2021, or at least 2022. Let's take a wild guess and guess the theme of this year. I think ethical tech is going to be something that's brought into light, because that's the discussion right now. That's how we're starting this whole year off in the tech space. I know, there's a lot of other stuff happening in the world too right now, but like I say, this is a tech channel, so I want to look at it from that tech perspective. So anyway, just some thoughts, just some stuff I was thinking about. I wanted to make this video, discuss, the potential opportunities and future of an internet where privacy is more important and more protected, and the focus is more on protecting the individual. So I hope that is something that is going to happen in the future. I hope that is where we're headed in light of all this. I think all the stuff that's happening now is actually going to get a little bit more extreme. I think we're still going to see more censorship, and it might get worse before it gets better, but I think it will get better. And I'm very excited to see where we go in the next few years and how the internet's going to change. So like I say, let me know what you guys think in the comments. Throw your thoughts out there. And I hope you guys have a blessed day.